Do you feel that your life is a vicious circle in which you keep making the same errors, not because you want to, but because life presents you with repetitive circumstances and situations? If that's the case, keep on watching because this video will gonna explain one of Autologie's core concepts, the life traps. Life traps are real, not a simple concept, not imagination, but actual situations where man normally finds himself. Everything that impairs progress is a trap. If there is no advancement and evolution in your life, you are probably lying in a trap. Be it real or mental, it is still a trap. The context, society keeps demanding agreement from everybody. The moment you are slightly different from the accepted norm is the moment the trap starts coming for you. The masses will look at you with different eyes. If you are seeking to be a free being, you have to learn ASAP to handle life traps. We're gonna analyze each trap separately in order. 1. The context trap. This one is very easy to understand if you watched our previous videos. If you don't, do it now, please, you will not regret it. The context trap is basically the combination of all other traps together. For an analogy, we could say that it is the top of the pyramid. It is the geo-socio-political world that we live in. It seeks to enforce agreement and cooperation from every individual. Those who don't play along, and it could be sometimes just by thinking differently from the masses, tend to be heavily stigmatized, ridiculed, and in more extreme cases, marginalized. The context is not a single trap, but a set of traps. 2. The agreement trap. That's the trap that most people are in. People tend to extend this trap to others. This trap is based on raw reptilian survival. It demands that people sacrifice their own selves and all energies to make society work. That's where people just become another gear or cog of society in exchange for survival and peace. Normally, who find themselves deep into that trap have no recognition or interest in the inner self, knowledge, and creation. This is a complex trap because by blackmailing people through short-term survival. Some examples are the economic burden, which is the biggest one, and how capitalism works itself, but also through ideas, arts, and so on. You are allowed only to speak what the context allows if you do not want to be marginalized and stigmatized. Stigma is another very big tool used to endanger people's survival, since people have built within their genes the fear of being alone. So people tend to agree. Bots agree and become, in the end, completely a government cog. The individual who seeks freedom finds himself in a more complex situation, since he fakes agreement by resisting it silently. It does not work in the long run because you become what you agree it, even if it is a fake agreement. That's why fake agreement is used to maintain peace, and maintaining peace is a trap itself. That trap is very complex because it encompasses all of human communication mechanics. One of the most dangerous variants and examples is to be in love with someone without being in real agreement with that person, but by faking agreement, which results in not having real communication with that person. A lot of people do that in relationships, actually. It can really destroy your soul because it splits your personality right away and can make you lose yourself way faster than the following trap. 3. The shell trap. The shell trap is a personality created through consecutive fake agreements throughout an individual's life. This trap does not affect bots, ordinary people, but only the freedom seeker, apparently. The reason for that is that one tries to hide their inner self from the world to avoid conflict, stigma, and social exclusion. He wants to maintain peace and be a good and likable guy. The sad thing is that people perceive it and start to ridicule you anyway, even if not directly. You lose respect and become a target right away. The shell then becomes a second personality that starts taking control of the individual and gradually becomes his main concern, to keep the facade. The basic personality starts to be absorbed by the shell, and then frustration, hate and negative energy start building up. A lot of people are actually in this condition, and some people experience a silent spiritual decay and a dramatic death full of regret because they did not have the willpower to get out of the shell that they have created. It is a big integrity and self-respect issue. There is no freedom without self-respect. We could also call it the fake agreement personality or the purgatory trap, because it is a limbo personality. You're neither yourself nor a complete cog/bot. You don't take the action to become your real self again, but you also don't accept to go fully on the bot way, becoming a cog of society. And that is the reason why the condition continues. 4. The self-generated negative energy trap. Life and the universe work and advance through order and balance. Imbalance and disorder lead to chaos and degradation. In order to advance and evolve properly as a being, you need to have a balanced exchange of energies with the universe. Create and destroy, learn and teach, work and rest, attack and defend, and so on, as you can follow the logic. After being for a long time concerned with your mask, you find yourself in a constant state of resistance. You resist ideas and opinions inside you, but you fake agree with them for peace. That condition starts to consume you slowly, and you start to practice self-hate, which is the most energy-consuming action. You feel weak and powerless, and you start propitiating. When the propitiation starts, you understand that you are in a deep, bad condition. Fear kicks in, and you can't even feel the rage anymore as the condition goes on. You are so afraid to break peace, to break that facade, that you prefer to die in silence rather than fight. You almost have no more energy to create, to cause things, and to be yourself anymore. It is a tragic situation because you can't feel and receive positive energies in life, because there are no more wins and glory in life. You can even be loved, but you can't feel the love, actually. There comes that famous saying, you can't be loved if you don't love yourself. A saying so simple and trivial, yet nobody seems to understand and practice it. The positive energy that you need must come from within. It can't depend on external forces. External forces tend to steal it, especially people who are not aligned with our goals and worldview. The context, for example, already steals a lot of men's energy through raw and short-term survival necessities, economic burdens, and so on. 5. The fear trap. When the amount of negative energy that you feel becomes overwhelming, fear, terror, and propitiation start to kick in. That is the condition where there is no more energy even to get angry and enraged. Even if it is by no means optimal to be angry and enraged, they denote at least still a certain quantity of life force, will to keep fighting and to keep living. Fear and terror don't. The shell is a reptilian survival mechanism that loves peace, comfort, and uses fear and propitiation to survive. You become that thing the more you use it. Society and the context love it, especially people with bad intentions who leverage that condition. You become a puppet in the hands of bad-intentioned people, and no one respects you anymore because you've already lost all respect for yourself in the first place. To get out of this condition without specific spiritual therapy, training, and help is extremely hard. You need allies in life, and if you are in that trap, you probably don't have any. 6. The hopelessness trap. Arrived at that point, the person feels apathetic towards existence. There is no responsibility anymore, no interest in changing things. The person has a sensation of being already too old or too weak to change things. And justifications like life is the way it is start to take place. The subject justifies a lot in this condition. There is always a reason to not take action. Hopelessness is the basis of inaction. There is no more will to cause and create things. The person considers that the inner self will remain for the rest of existence hidden within. It is a self-deceiving condition. normally because the individual knows deep inside that he wants to break free of that condition. It is a matter of life force and willpower, and in this condition they may be completely gone. There are more variants of those traps with more specific details, but those are the basic 6. As indicated, they show the degradation of the human spirit as they progress. They could also be called negative conditions, but we use the term traps because if analyzed deeply, you can say that they are basically illusions. The only reality is the individual. The rest is simply agreement. In Autologie, we discovered that the only functional and workable way to rehabilitate a human being who is not a cog of society is to make him become more himself and less a social agreement tool. It is by separating his real self from the shell. It is a question of truth, of being true and real to oneself. Now you understand why normal therapy also does not work if you want to be free. Normal therapy has the goal to make you feel comfortable by agreement, which most of you already do unknowingly by wearing the shell, whereas the main goal of Autologie is to free the individual from agreement and make him more himself. If that is your goal, feel free to contact us. We are here for you. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos like that. May you be yourself again.